Orleans Talk Network. It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the conversation will be hot and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide. That's what we are. Join in on the real conversation and tell a friend about the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, this is Stan Schofield, and I'm inviting all of my KWK family and my family to watch Church Without Walls, 11 o'clock on Mondays, for the greatest and latest show around. Thank you. Hi, this is Stan Schofield.
Here we go, fella. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls. We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12, Central Standard Time. Your host, Charles Stewart, and Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams. And we come your way every Monday morning, want to knock down on walls that been standing in your way. Many of us have walls that is in our way. Dr. Williams and myself, we do our very best, our God-given talent, to share with you our thought that the Holy Spirit and God give to us, to give to you, and to try to help you knock down the walls in your way. We certainly hope that you have had a wonderful week, and we thank y'all for watching and listening to Church Without Walls in the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. If you would like to call us, get in on the conversation, you can download the app, www.New Orleans Talk Network. You can dial 1-563-999-1808. Again, 1-563-999-1808 if you would like to get in on the conversation. And we have in the studio with us a good friend, one of the greatest brothers around the city, Mr. Businessman Harry Lucas, is in the studio with us. Many of y'all have seen him and heard him before. He always kind enough. He loved the community, and he loved New Orleans, Jefferson Parish so much that he take time out of his busy schedule to come and be with Dr. Williams and myself for us to attempt to knock down the wall that's standing in your way. As y'all know, you got so much going on in this country. You don't know, what subject you want to deal with. You know, you got this movement, you got the wall, you got the lesbian, gays. Everywhere you look, it's a problem. But it's not too big for God to handle, and we all are God's children, don't care who you are. According to the Bible, it said we all are created equal. He didn't say who, if you Hispanic or whatever you may be, you want to say you're all, whether you gay or straight or whatever. You are a creation of God. Today our topic going to be, it's a division between racism and the wall. For the last 2 years, you've been hearing build a wall, tear down that wall. Now they say finish the wall. And racism at an all-time high. You see all over the country. It's more than, and we look at racism as white and a black situation, but really it's amongst all races. Whether you black, green, or red, racism do exist. The reporter seem to highlight a lot of the racism that is going on. But if we look at it, we realize racism is everywhere. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Racism and about build that wall. How it have divided this country. And we prayed this morning that you will get in on this conversation. We'd like to get your vision. How our Dr. William and Mr. Luke and myself, we want to come up with a solution. How do this country, how do we as God people, how do we come together? So if you'd like to get in on it again, dial 1-563-99-1808. Dr. William, your version of divided country, what is the step that we need to take for us to come together?
Well, Charles, when you stop and think about how racism is trying to make a comeback in society.
Trying?
Yeah, and I said the word trying.
Okay.
I said the word trying because
okay, now, Doctor. Come on, Doctor.
They're attempting to bring it back. And, there are some people, and you can't blame all white folks for racism, because what's happening is that you've got some of the Caucasian race that are against racism, but you've also got racism that exists among us.
All right, now,
Okay.
I agree with that.
You've got racism that exists among us. And one of the things that happened, that I was doing some research and find out that what the president actually did was expose racism in both parties.
Correct.
You got racism in the Democratic Party, you got racism in the Republican Party. He actually put them on TV and allowed the world to see that racism exists in both of those parties. And we get to the point where we feel that we just want to be we're a Democrat or we're a Republican. And sometimes you got to look at what the plan really is to determine where you want to be and how you want to handle certain things. But racism is something that seems to be is something that corrupts and causes distortion. How can we come together unless we sit down and reason one with another? How can we walk with one another? I can't walk with you if you walking one way and I'm walking the other way. Something has to stop somewhere. We look at segregation. A lot of people don't realize segregation actually hurted us more than it helped us. It bused us to different schools. It took us out of our school. We were coming out of school, doctors, lawyers, and dentists, and everything else. But it actually took us out of our school. We didn't have good books, but we were learning from those books. All we wanted was new books. All we wanted was classroom that had different
AC air conditioning.
Yeah. Oh, we just wanted to have the same thing that the other race had, but before they would give that to us, they took it away. But it doesn't seem like they took it away from us. All of our schools are being closed down right now. Every time you turn around, they're closing some black schools. All of that is hurting the nation as a whole. So at some point in time, if black folks stop trying to go backwards and go forward and have a mind to reach out, that we're going to do better, we're going to have things that get better, I think all of this will stop right now. You got more white girls with black men now in your shopping centers and your malls and everything else, and they ain't hiding it. They're walking hand in hand. So if you can do all of this, why not stop all of this racism stuff? Because racism is causing a division and a separation.
Right.
That division and separation, the people are saying we don't want this anymore. If I cut you right now, Charles, you're going to bleed what?
Red blood.
Red. If you cut a white boy right now, what are you going to bleed?
Red blood.
Okay. So what's the big problem about racism?
Well, I think that the racism, Dr. William, we coming up on, we want to get into that on the next segment because we're coming up on a commercial, but to talk about, to add to our viewing and listening audience, I think next segment we want to talk about what the point that Dr. Williams just made. The point is racism. Racism is a form of for one thing, I would say the race people, they use the control of us. The people that's in control, the country always have had, said 3 to 5% of people control everybody else. I don't care what color you was, black or white, they will able to control us. So if they can keep you and I, Dr. William, fighting against our white brother, our Spanish brother, they got us under control because we can't focus up on what they set an agenda. And we got to take a station break. We're going to get into this thing. I know Mr. Lucas wants to say something about this. And we're going to take a station break, y'all, and we're going to be back with Church Without Walls on the New Orleans Talk Network. We'll be back. Here we are. And music.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Well, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHayoU15.
Listen, this is your boy, Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFredJones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with G Sports. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, AKG, and on Twitter, G_paid in full 08.
Pay me the money! money!
New year, new show. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I'm coming back at you with the new year of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. And this year, we're moving to Monday night with brand new exciting guests and engaging literary conversation. And we want our listening audience to be there with us because this is going to be a year you will not forget. Catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m., right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. And you can also reach us on the Meet the World Image Solutions Facebook page, the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, and we're on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. So catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you there.
We are back. You are listening. You are watching Church Without Walls with Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams and Charles Stewart. And our studio guest is businessman Harry Lucas. And before we took a break, Dr. Williams said something that really struck a nerve with me when he said, why is it that racism exists when, regardless what color you is, white or black, when you get cut, you bleed red. And I just believe that he hit a nerve with me when I said that racism is what the richer people, regardless whether you're black or white, if you reach up, that's what they use to control us. And black folks use it on us too, whether it's our white brother. So, Dr. Lucas, what you think of that?
I disagree, and I agree in part. I think racism, I feel very strongly, racism is a learned behavior, it's a genetic behavior that come into force when we have birth from watching others practice mistreated or bad behavior and practice toward each other. So in concept, it's like anything else. Racism don't have no color barrier. Poor, rich, unfortunate, fortune, black or white, blue and green, none of that exists because it's an inherited concept that one pick up on the individual basis. It's not for all. Some people just clear of racism to a large degree. Some people got it heavily in them because there's a learned behavior practice every day. But I say, until we revise ourselves as individuals and try to rid of these feelings and concepts that came into this and that separate us as a people, not as a class so much, because I hear Dr. Williams say there's white and blacks interacting and exchanging and having all. That's okay. Individual choice, we not about color, and if we're about black versus white or Hispanic versus that, then you won't see all the mixture of people. So since we all are God's children and God give us a choice, and our choice choose to do what we want, that's in order, as long as we don't be prejudiced against others, because you got more poor people just as hateful and racist as others. And racism is a practice, it's a concept, is a principle that have been put into place by Satan. And as long as Satan is in control, we always have racism until people are rid of that discord with that whole concept.
But you got to think about it like this, Mr. Lucas. Racism didn't just start it. It didn't just start in slavery. You know, it didn't just start there. Racism started way back. You had the Pharisees, the scribes, you had the elders, you had the high priests. And those people set a separation for individuals. So racism was there. The scribes and the Pharisees didn't agree on a lot of things, and they caused a separation and a division. And that's what racism does. It causes a separation and a division. You think you more than I am. I think I'm more than you. So you got a battle, but the battle is not flesh and blood against one another. It is on the mind. It's in the mind. It's in the heart of the individual. That's why racism takes place. Racism is being taught in some instances. Okay? And then this individual decides that he's better than anybody else, so he starts to teach that to other people. And then you get an organization together that feel like this race is superior to that race. But when you lay it all down as it really is, racism starts in your heart. When Jesus came, he tried to put that racism in his place. You know, and he told them, you know, you're with this religion, you're with this religion. You gotta when you become a part of an organization with racism, you gotta reverse everything else that you actually learn about that, and then you are converted to that religion. So that causes separation. Now you think that your religion is better than my religion, and religion is only a belief.
Right.
So at some point in time, you got to stop and look at the whole picture instead of just looking at. We say among our people, we had gotten to a point where we thought the white man's water was wetter, his sugar was sweeter. One is one. If it's sweet, it's sweet. If it's wet, it's wet.
Right.
You know, we have to realize that if you take a pound of dirt and put in each one of these seats up here, dirt is dirt.
Right.
You can't separate it. Dirt is dirt. All of us come from where?
Dirt.
The dirt.
Right.
When we die, we're going back to where?
Dust.
The dust.
Dirt, yeah.
The spirit is what you're concerned with right now.
Right.
That spirit goes back to God who gave it. Ecclesiastes 12:7. So neither one of us is any better than the other. We just dirt.
But what we was trying to establish and still trying to establish, racism. Racism is, according to what you were saying, that's a behavior that we get. I don't like you. I'm jealous. I hate you because you got a car. I don't have that. That's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But a concept is a systematic thing that you inherit or you learn to practice. When that practice becomes out front, then it be clear that you're on the left side versus those on the right side. And it's become so real now in the everyday practice, just like we might say Donald Trump used as one, is a racist. Practice racism. And those who wear masks feel the same way in principle that Trump, but Trump doing their duty or their job because he's a spokesman at that time for those who represent human misery. So racism, I think, is something that we don't necessarily have to have because you could rid of yourself having dislike because Jesus proved that to us when he went into the temple and destroyed those who was against his father will, his father working. And every day we see that practice here, but we ain't having that type of discipline taking place to those who about human misery. And as long as human misery in place, racism gonna stay alive because it's a genetic practice. Kids are being born with families and fear and having those type of negative, inferior type of complex. And naturally, if you're inferior, you produce inferiority.
Okay, I got a question for you and Dr. Williams. Do you believe racism would exist if they couldn't make money off of it? I mean, when you really look at it, you take it like Donald Trump, regardless of what people say about him. They say he a racist, and I don't really, me personally, I don't see him as a racist myself. I see him use racism to better his agenda for what he wants. I mean, he deal with who he have to deal with. If he deal with a doggone rapper, he deal with all kind of minority black folks. I mean, he put me in a high position. So he used racism to further his agenda, just like a lot of people. But I don't really see people say President Trump is a racist. I think he used it to better his agenda, like some of the people that support him. He don't denounce them, but he at the same time he never said I love them. But he used them in a special way to some of the bear and go to show you the lack of people lack understanding. Some of the people who really fight for him, a lot of his policy hurt them more than they do anybody. Bad people see out there fighting for him. They say they'll die for him. His policy hurt them more than do the average person, more than hurt us.
Well, and that's one of the fundamental things that happens in the races. You know, Donald Trump is a master businessman.
Right.
Okay, and so whatever he has to do to sell his product is what he's gonna do. Just like
by any means necessary.
He don't defer from it.
No.
He moved out of the position of it.
Yeah.
You know, and when he moved out of the position of it, then that people see that this is what you want to hear. So I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear, but I'm not gonna give you the product that you want. I'm gonna sell it to you, but I'm gonna take it away from you.
Right.
And so what you find out with Donald Trump is Donald Trump, his agenda, he knew that he had to hire people that were working with him. So go back and look at a lot of the news broadcasts. What he did was he hired them because that was his promise. Okay? So once he hired them, he didn't tell you how long you was going to be employed with that position. Right. So you might have got hired for a year. And after that year, he got rid of you. He found a reason to get rid of you.
Yeah.
You know? I kept my promise to you.
Right.
You know, but only for a short time. And just like Satan. Say them give you something for a short time.
Right.
And then after that short time is over with, he said, "Nah, it's time for you to get on your own. I'm not going to do that for you anymore." I did what I
Dr.
found.
Williams, Dr. Williams, think about this here. And I don't know if our producer could pull this up on, if he can find. I know they can go on the computer and pull up certain things. Donald Trump made a statement several years ago. He said the Republican Party is one of the dumbest party he ever seen. And he come back and used them to elect him president. That's a matter of record. So this man is a professional, and a lot of people say Donald Trump is dumb, but I see him as a genius myself. Now, this is just my personal opinion about him. I don't see him as really a racist. I see him racism. I know many African Americans and white Americans that is racist in a certain way you look at it. And I know some Caucasian that a lot of people say racist, and they ain't never told me nothing I asked for the community.
You know, once we define racism, and because racism come under a different category than disliking or hate for mischief and not caring for a person, just throw salt on because you can. That's what we not wanting to misplace that type of thing on Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a racist creature in concept, in principle.
I don't see him like that. I don't see him as no racist.
Understandable.
I see him use racist to his advantage. He know how to make money off of it. And the day that any man, black or white, cannot make money off of racism, it don't exist no more. He don't care about it anymore.
No, racism not.
I do. I see it.
No, not in the.
Mr. Duke, I guarantee you, Donald Trump, any other Caucasian, if they got a daughter and you can have an African American be 6'8", weigh 290 pounds, can run a football, run over people, dunk a basketball, his daughter can marry. He can marry him. They don't care about that. Racism exists when you underprivileged. Now, I think Dr. Williams said earlier, you go in the shopping center, you see the Caucasian girl holding hand with African. Why is that? You know that he's going to be a #1 draft pick. It's about economica to them. We don't see that.
Charlie, there are some people, and you could see, I could name some brothers like Sammy Davis Jr. that liked it, this white, and the gangsters told him, tell French and I said, tell him back off, Kim. And he did. I mean, Kim Novak. But
Kim Novak?
Yeah. But I'm saying that...
Why they told him to back off? Because they were getting a lot of kick for him. Hey, Sam, you can be with a shopping center, but you don't need to be holding hand with it in the public.
No, they just, certain things in principle, racism don't allow to be principle. That's why I say
it's about the dollar. Mr. Luke, you take it like basketball.
Okay.
When African American perceived to dominate basketball, right?
Okay.
The rating went down. They didn't even show it on television. They would show the playoff when it got playoff time. Now, every time you look at television, it's on why they got Caucasian guys that star now. So money control racism. That's what, when you talk racism, it's racism when you ain't got no money. But you got money, you accept. Now I don't care who it is, who you are. When you got money, you accept it. No care. I know some African American. Y'all know some too. They stay in some of the richest neighborhood that it is,
and still have that same stigma that they always carry, whether they're poor or rich. Certain things are done principally. And you can see all the people that interact and iterate, and then later they came and got chastised because of racism about that. Naturally, that's what you want to do.
No, in our book, we got to take a break, y'all. We're going to be back You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls, the studios of the New Orleans Talk Network. We take a short break. We'll be back. You are listening to Church Without Walls.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
New year, new show. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I'm coming back at you with the new year of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. And this year, we're moving to Monday night with brand new exciting guests and engaging literary conversation. And we want our listening audience to be there with us because this is going to be a year you will not forget. Catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m., right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. And you can also reach us on the Meet the World Image Solutions Facebook page, the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, and we're on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. So catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you there.
This is Charles Stewart.
And the Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams.
We are Church Without Walls.
And we are here today to give you information that you don't normally get at church.
We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12.
Call in with your comment or your questions, and we'll be glad to try and answer them for you. If we don't have the answer today, we will get it to you on a message.
Don't you dare miss it. We are back. You are listening and watching Church Without Walls. Dr. Anthony Williams, Charles Stewart, and our studio guest is businessman Dr. Harry Lucas. And we're talking about racism. We was going to talk about that wall, but we ain't dealing on wall. We're dealing now with racism and finance. And Dr. Williams, you had a illustration of what racism really are according to that's according to Webster, or who that is.
I was looking up the definition of racism, and it says that racism, according to the Webster Dictionary, is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on belief that one's own race is superior. And that's taken it to another level where individuals actually think that they are superior to one another. It has gotten to some of the white race, because I don't see everybody in the Caucasian race being racist. Because there are some people who will go out of their way. Some of the Caucasians will go out of their way to help you.
Right.
I remember. I remember when I was running the community center. There was a man. I'll just say his name because he did a lot for me. His name was Charles Arnold, and he taught me a lot. So you're not going to be teaching a person how to do things right if you're a racist. A lot of people didn't see him as being that, but that man came over to the community center and worked with me for almost 6 weeks. And he told me, he says, when I leave from over here, I'm not going to have to worry about this center anymore. He said, but there are some words that you use, and you got to be careful of those words. He said, thing that you use, the word altercation, don't use that word unless you're a part of the altercation. Altercation means that it's a heated discussion. So he said, I want you to go back and look at that word, and I want you to understand all of the facets of that word. If you use that word, then that word altercation will actually say that you were in a heated discussion with that person. You wasn't in a heated discussion with that person. That person was in a heated discussion, not you. So you can't use that word because it's actually going to mean that you were in a rage, they were in a rage, and so that's how it turned out. So you're as much as fault as a supervisor as the person that you're actually talking with. So some words you're not going to use.
Okay.
So that person helped me. That person was helping me, and he told me, he said, there are some things going to happen that's gonna come up that I'm not going to be able to help you with. So you got to be careful and make sure that you cover your own behind.
Dr. Williams, now you are talking about how much help that Mr. Hunter gave you. If my memory serves me correctly, I heard some people work there say he was mean, was a racist. You know, but he went out of his way to help you. And we have many, Dr. William, brother, Caucasian African American. We have that mentality that we are better because God may have blessed you to get to have a good job, or you may got promoted on a job. You think you're more than your neighbor. That's racism. You think you're superior because you're riding in a Mercedes and your neighbor riding a Chevrolet, but that neighbor in the Chevrolet got more peace than you. You worried about how you gonna pay for that Mercedes, how you going to live that lifestyle. But the brother that is riding the Chevrolet that going to get 2 for 1 at Burger King, he living a happy life. Him and his family, they don't have no pressure on him. That's why you see a lot of different brothers, say, how did that guy want to commit suicide? Like the man director out in St. Charles Parish, man, he was a principal at school. You trying to jump off the bridge. Why? Them demon in him, and a lot of time we want too much. Like people be saying how hard times is now, Dr. William and Mr. Lucas. Time is hard and it's so rough, man. Cause how in the hell time is bad? Almost in front of every house you see 3-4 cars in the driveway. You're going to Outback eating every day. You make it hard. If you would live within your means, your time would be good. Now, how do you tie racism in that? Because you got people that's superior with money. I call that sophisticated racism because, you see a commercial on television, they tell you you can't eat this, you can't drink this here. People control what you do. And to me, that makes them superior, Dr. Where when a person control, right now, we control what we can't eat and drink. We might slip and do it, but it's certain thing is off limit for us. And we don't seem to catch that.
You allow yourself to be controlled by certain things, and it's like you look at the word adultery, or fornication. That word adultery just means to have a burning desire for something, and a lot of times people put adultery in just the facets of sexual relationship, but to have a burning desire for something. You have a burning desire to smoke. You have a burning desire to drink. You have a burning desire to eat certain things. That's considered adultery. And that burning desire will actually handicap and hurt you. Because you want it so bad, you're going to do whatever it takes to get it. Just like you were saying about a car. You want to ride in a Mercedes because everybody else is riding in a Mercedes. That's a burning desire. So you actually commit adultery because you're going to do everything that you can to get to ride in that Mercedes. That Chevrolet is going to take you the same place that Mercedes is going to take you, and it may cost you less. Right. So you got to, same thing with racism. People want to be in the high echelon. So power becomes the burning desire that they want. People want power to get ahead. They run over people because they want that power. They want that authority. They want to be able to say, I am greater than you because I have more knowledge than you. I have more wisdom than you. I have more understanding. So I'm getting where you can't get. It isn't that the person's got more than you. It's that the person is using what they have to get what they want.
That's right.
See, so
Yeah.
those are some of the things that we as a race of people need to stop and look at. It isn't what you have, it's what you use. It's what you use.
But Dr. William, uh, we as people, uh, we uh, we put ourselves in. I was thinking. I'm only speaking for me when I say this. I think we put ourselves in position for people to use us, and what I mean by that is,
We either put ourselves in a position or we take ourselves out of position.
okay,
You have that ability to get in that position to get all of the things that you want. But don't let the things control you. You control the things.
okay, yeah, and that's so right. Couldn't say something.
I was saying, I hear what we saying. I'm just a firm believer that yesterday ball game is mixed up with today's ball game, and to be accurate, you got to have both a little bit of yesterday and a little bit of today technology and the day movement. The values and principles never change because if you're a principle against something wrong, you're a principle against it all the time, not sometimes. Now there have been verification when we as a black people thinking that we being attacked by others races for whatever reason. True. Even today, I feel the same way. We've been systematic, seeing like wipe out almost non-existent right now because the black man or the black uh, people as young seem to have lost their effectiveness or their input with the power that be. So this is why others from other parts of the country, and it's not racism because I don't like or hate nobody because they coming looking for work for opportunity. No, I'm against the concept of a person in power just systematic taking others who built this state, this city, this country, and saying, well, use a liability for being an asset. We are assets, we are rich in power within ourselves. And if we look at what God has blessed us with, it's the ability and the willpower to be ourselves, to build.
Well, so simply put, Dr. Lucas, think about it like this. Black folks actually built America.
Right.
Okay. The White House was built by black folks.
Slave. Yeah.
We got more inventions by black folks, but are not recognized as the one that actually invented that particular. When you start looking at the automatic rifle, you start looking at the cotton gin. All of those things were built by blacks, but blacks did not get that recognition. We as a people have to stop allowing people to use our talent to get rich when we're not. We put ourselves, we're in a position, but we allow ourselves to be in that position and we allow others to take credit for the things that we do and we don't squawk about it. You know, it's time to stop that. It's time to stop that. It's time for as a black race of people to start recognizing what we have done and where we have come from. You can look back and say, look where he brought me from, but you can't say that unless you understand what you went through to get there.
Right.
So at some point in time, we focus on the dream, but we're not living the dream. The dream has to become a vision so that we can see where we are going. The vision is to look at where I'm headed and not to be combated by something of the past. There are three types of people that you're going to come in contact with. There are people of the past, people in the present, and people of the future. The difference right there is that people of your past have gone as far as they can go with you. They can't go no further because they're part of your past.
Okay.
The people of the future, you can't go where they are because you haven't got to them yet. They're in your future and you have to meet them. But we have to learn how to live in the present where we are right now.
Okay.
So as long as we're in our present, we can make our future better. But we can't go back and live in our past because it's ended.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I'm just the opposite. I use my past as my guide all the time because my guide going to indicate where I should go right now. And my present, based on what I do right now, will be determined whether God won't allow me to go into the future. If he did, I laid preparation to be prepared to go into the next day. And they would say, live as best you can right now as though it's just your last day. We hear that concept, but we don't necessarily practice that. But as long as you take, like in my life, I always go back. Look back and where your past brought you. My past definitely make me say, no, Harry, is a warning sign. So looking at the past back to what I see, I can't let my feeling, because when you talk about nationality, whites have done a lot for me, every nationality, because I interact, if you look at my present day, I interact with all nationality people. And everybody interact, work with me, and I don't speak necessarily language, but in spirit, because of my vibration, and I believe strongly in vibration, people could feel you. If they feel you as a part of them, then you got a building block. We could build a city, a nation, a community, a unit to change. And change is going to come about when all of us feel the same need. We might not be able to plan and say, this is what we're going to dust by step, but God have a way of intervening because once he get our intention to be good, then there are going to be changes come about because all those who have evil intent going to be smothered out with those who know that if we're going to exist or coexist, then we're going to rightfully take what's rightfully ours by God's kingdom. And then we're going to do what you say. Say, well, here's the time now. Black people been suppressed, oppressed, depressed, and compressed in a certain way. The sign of times, today, ball game dictate that we do dust. And then that practice got to be in practice. But as long as we point back different way, we all going to have those type of things. You might not like your neighbor because she or he don't speak.
Right now, Mr. Lucas, our show is about to come to an end. Charles, you're going to do our shout out.
We like to thank those that are watching us today. We thank for everybody that tune in and listen to Church Without Wall, every William, Dr. William, and myself. We really appreciate you. We want you to know that we love you, and we pray that God bless you in everything that you do. And today is the first day of April.
So be careful about those who plan that April Fool Day on you.
Yeah, y'all hear what Dr. Williams said. Don't let nobody put no April Fool joke on you. And if it sounds too good to be true, it ain't true. So remember, on behalf of Dr. Williams and Little Lucas and Charles Stewart, we signing off saying we love you, and Dr. Williams tell you in a minute, it ain't nothing you can do about it. So it's no such thing as being half dead. If you dead, you're dead. See you next week.
For sure.
It's about that time, y'all. Keep it for me one more time.